Welcome back, viewers. You're still on To The Press, watching you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. We've now been joined by our guest. Our guest is a remarkable young woman who carried Nigeria's name to the international stage at Miss Aura in Turkey. She's a seasoned journalist and broadcaster, an embodiment of many talents, and a philanthropist. She was crowned Miss Aura International Peace Ambassador, a title that reflects purpose, strength, and vision. Let's hear her story of representation, resilience, and using beauty as a voice for peace. And so let's make welcome Miss Aura International Peace Ambassador, Mercy Babajide.
Hello.
It feels weird actually welcoming you to your own studio.
Let's not get into that, please.
Congratulations, girl.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
How was it for you? You know, getting from the stage in Nigeria, winning the crown here, and representing Nigeria on that global stage. How did that make you feel?
Well, firstly, I'll say it was a dream come true, or it is. It's not in past tense. I'm still believing most of the moments. It was a dream come true. And I would say it shows how much strength I have. I'm someone that feels like people should not talk too much about themselves. They should allow people brag about them. But then going to Turkey just made me realize how much resilience I have in me, because I'd just like to rush it, given from when my visa was denied a week to when I was supposed to travel, how the Minister of Arts and Culture came through, how I don't know how that happened. In less than 24 hours I needed to be in Turkey, and I'm sure most people don't know, I had barely 3 weeks to prepare.
Wow.
Yeah, barely 3 weeks to prepare, get all the outfits together, my costumes and everything. And my team, they were just so impeccable. I cannot even begin to talk how much they helped me, because trust me, there's too many things happening behind the scenes, and then everybody just says the beautiful pictures and the catwalk and all of that, and then the intelligence round, but then there was just too much work that needed to happen behind the scene. But then I'm grateful, and especially the fact that I wasn't expecting so much support, but I got too much support from Nigerians. I mean, you were part of that. You guys supported me, and it feels like, you know that what they use, Nigeria, they carry last.
Exactly. I was going to tell you that I think it's part of us to always want to support our own. But talking about representation now, you know, there was something astonishing about every single of your outfits on that stage, because I was streaming and I wanted to really see how everything was going to end. And I'm very happy that you're back home with a crown.
Thank you.
But let's talk about that traditional costume that you wore.
It looks like that traditional outfit is going to be.
It was... it got a lot of people like, wow. It got a lot of people thrilled, like, what's going on? What's with this outfit? What brought about that inspiration? Because I don't think I've ever seen that anywhere.
Okay, I would like to say shout out to Dennis first, because Dennis did a great job, and not just Dennis, my entire team. So I'm someone that tries so much to tell a story with every of my outfits. My preliminary dress was made with 5,000 coral beads, and that's me going indigenous. Matter of fact, if you had asked me, I would have probably used this Iago or one Adire or something to actually make my outfit. But then, speaking about my national costume, I wanted something that had twins in it. Speaking about Mary Slessor, of course, she ended the killing of twins, and that has gone a long way in our today Nigeria. And then, speaking about the culture, we of course have this place, Ibora, I think in Oyo State, where they said every family has twins, or I think everybody has just twins over and over again. But then it brings me to saying that I love kids. And then, in as much as I was trying to talk about Mary Slessor, and then everybody said, oh, let's switch it. Let it not just be about Mary Slessor alone. Now let's put twins at the back, and then the coral beads representing the Oshun, of course, from Oshun State. And then, I'm not from Oshun State, rather, but then talking about the Oshun culture.
You're talking about.
Ooh, right, all right. So we had to, there was so much going on, the calabash. If they had allowed, maybe I would have put fire and then smoke coming out to depict so much more. But then it was too much for me. I mean, that outfit alone was, it fit into an entire old box. So that was like excess. But then, someone said yesterday, Mercy, how how did you get on that stage and you were being so dramatic and nobody saw that coming? And I'm like, well, it feels like the outfit has its own life.
Because I was going to say, how long did it take you to prepare? You know, you had this traditional movement alongside, and it was just like, I knew you before, right? But
and then you're seeing someone else
on stage was like, no, this looks like the Ibeji spirit is already in me. So what's going on?
Well, like I said yesterday, when I was speaking with some persons, and I said I would really love to have twins. So maybe the Ibeji spirit actually came through, and then at that point it was just like, oh, this is Nigeria. I'm carrying Nigeria as a whole. This is not just about me. And then something motivated me right before I climbed that stage. I didn't even realize that some of my closest friends, I have 2 twins.
Wow.
Yeah. So I didn't realize that until, I knew they were twins. But then after we posted the clips before we went on stage, and then everybody was just going, oh my God, as a twin, I'm happy someone is actually talking about us because we're so underrated in Nigeria. And then it brought so much tears to my face, and I'm like, okay, this is what I wanted to prove. I wanted to put Nigeria on the map. And then a lot of persons didn't know all of our cultures and traditions. For some people, you give birth to twins or Peter and Paul, that's just it for them. Nobody knows how much struggle we had to go through in Nigeria to be able to say, let the twins live. So I feel like that was the message we're trying to pass across.
But honestly, how did you cope amongst other contestants in the world out there?
I would say it was my first time on an international stage, but trust me, the set of girls this year, they were the it girls. Let me use that word. I mean, they were beautiful, they were bold. You needed to see us.
Just as you.
Yeah, the intelligence round. Some person spoke and I'm like, I'm on wow, let me use the Nigerian language. And I'm like, I shall not just pack my bag and start going on. They were impeccable. I mean, we had lawyers, we had engineers. Miss USA, she's a lawyer. Miss Canada is a doctor, I think a surgeon, practicing one at that. So we had not just any woman there. We had impeccable ladies that they were focused, goal-oriented. They knew why they came there. So it wasn't a battle of, oh, just beautiful face and nice dresses.
True.
We had the battle of intelligence. Of course, I made top 12 for the intelligence round, the national costume, the evening dress. And trust me, we had too many interviews because they don't just want a queen that embodies the beauty and the dress. They want something up there. Because
that's now beginning to sound like beauty. I mean, pageantry now transcends beyond just looking good, but also comes to what you do, who you stand, what you stand for, and your kind of person. But now let's talk about, you're now the Peace Ambassador, Miss Aura International.
Okay.
Yes. How do you intend to use this voice, you know, subsequently, in a world where there's so much chaos, where we have insecurity here and there? How do you intend to, you know, bring in this peace, this peaceful message, especially to young girls who are
something I would always tell people: every drop in an ocean from you and I, it's a contributing factor to making the ocean bigger. So I feel like if I have a voice, you have a voice, and then when you check around, you look at that IDP camp, you wouldn't want it to happen to anyone around you. Yes, it has happened to those people. It's quite unfortunate. But then if we all learn to speak up, look at what is happening in Kenya today. I mean, there's just so much going on in the world, and it feels like, oh, it's the perfect time to not just speak up about this. There's little to what we can do. Of course, I can't go to the war front and start saying ceasefire and all of that. But then I feel like everyone's voice would actually go a long way to know that, yes, we deserve a peaceful world, and not just that. Look at the ripple effects, the repercussions of what happens after most of this war.
And I wanted you to also take the chance to probably speak to the heart of most states in Nigeria at the moment, like Benue, Taraba, most of those places. As Miss Aura International Peace Ambassador, you have a voice, and this is a platform for you to actually extend your warm wishes to those people, your condolences to them. I want you to take the opportunity to do that, at least in a minute or two.
Okay, thank you very much for that, Olamide. My heart reaches out to Benue, Taraba, not just Benue and Taraba. There is so much insecurity going on in Nigeria right now, and then it feels like that's the order of the day. And I would like to say, if you're watching from any of the states, don't give up. I know it's easy to say don't give up when the insecurity is just right at your doorstep, and it's not just happening in those zones. Look at what happened in Abuja. I mean, a few days back, where they were robbed and all of that. I'm not just going to talk to people that stay there. I would like to even employ security outfits. I'm sure in a few days time I'm going to be meeting with some of the service chiefs and to speak more about this. But then I'd like to employ them. I know they are doing a lot, but then we cannot settle for less right now. We can't be mediocres. I want them to do more, because whether we like it or not, every life matters, every life counts, and then the peaceful world would even go a long way. We have too much things going on in the world right now. Look at the economic recession, the inflation, everything is just going on. So I feel like the barest minimum we can have right now should be peace.
I like that. So your final words to young girls who look up to you, looking at some of the things that you went through, the challenges you experienced, and what you would advise going forward.
I would always tell everybody, the bane of my existence is God. It is not a pushover for me. It's not an option for me. I would say hold on to God whatever you do, because at first I thought, oh, it was just normal for them to deny my visa, and then yes, I prayed, the minister came through and I was able to get my visa. But then the same thing happened to someone else in Ghana, Miss Supranational Ghana, and then she didn't get her visa, she didn't get to travel. So I'm only standing here and speaking with this crown and this sash because of God's grace. So like I always tell people, I mean, a lot of girls have reached out to me and I tell them, put God first in whatever you do, because if you don't put him first, you're just going to be doing everything you're doing all by yourself. And there's a difference between when you do it all by yourself and when God's grace backs you up. So I'd just like to say, put God first, work hard for it. Prayer is not enough. You're not going to pray and sleep in your room and expect that manna will fall down from heaven.
Of course.
Pray. And now I'm talking now and it feels like, yes, apart from the fact that I'm a broadcast journalist, even as a broadcast journalist, I still have to go for public speaking classes, because it's different when you speak on the pageant platform. You're speaking to the heart, you're speaking with emotions. But then being a journalist, you have to speak politics, and of course that's my forte, and that's all I talk about. So it transcends just prayer. You pray, you work hard, public speaking class, catwalk classes, and then not just that, be kind, be empathetic. The world we need more of kind persons in the world right now. That's all I can say, because with the war going on and people's mental health literally hanging by a thread, it doesn't cost anything to just be kind. That's all I'll say.
I love that. It's a very good place to anchor it. Be kind, be empathetic to the next person right beside you. Thank you so much, Miss Aura International Queen Ambassador.
Thank you, Olamide.
Thank you so much for your time today. It's a pleasure to have you in the studio.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Our viewers, I'm sure you enjoyed yourself. Thank you so much for being a part of the show today. I'll see you again later. I am Olamide Alhassan, and that's bye for now.